find the things that really stir your soul. That's what makes you really feel alive. You have to say no to other things you're used to and do it with all your heart. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I, Professor Yashri Dubey, on behalf of Vishisht School of Management, welcome you all. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome all the dignitaries and delegates to the 8th International Conference on Paradigm Shift in Global Business Practices and Socio-Economic Development. This is a vital topic of contemporary importance in the context of present global politico-economic setting. A paradigm shift is a change in the way we understand and approach our world. Innovative leadership sees opportunities even from a single paradigm shift across multiple fields. We can turn challenges into opportunities if we look outwards to the realities of the global economy and modernize opportunities to exchange ideas face to face, to establish research relations and find global partners for future collaboration. The theme and sub-themes for the conference are indicative of relevant research areas to give prospective authors innovative propositions about the ambit of discussion. Vishisht Institute of Professional Studies and Research looks forward in the distinctive blend of offerings in the area of knowledge and enterprise in the form of encouraging research. In our endeavor to raise the standard of discourse, we continue to remain the aware areas to meet the challenging needs of our stakeholders. Today, we are honored and obliged to have with us our guest of honor and keynote speaker, Dr. Ibrahim Shuaib, faculty at Sharda University, NCR, Delhi, and University of Ahmadu Bello, Zaria, Nigeria. Guest of honor, Major General Dr. Rajesh Chaba, Additional Director General Operational Logistics, Army Headquarters, New Delhi. Our chief guest, Dr. Sunil Somani, Vice Chancellor at Medicaps University, Indore. On behalf of Vishisht School of Management, I welcome you all to this conference, and I would like to thank all of you for gracing us with your presence. Thank you. Ma Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and art, represents the free flow of wisdom.
Yes, sir, please take group. Fine.
Okay, Ravi.
I request Professor Umesh Upadhyay to present a sapling to our chief guest, Dr. Sunil Somani. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to call Professor S.M.Anas to welcome our conference chair, Dr. Naveen, Managing Director of Vishisht School of Management. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Moving ahead with our program, I kindly request our conference convener in the welcome address. So please.
Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is a true pleasure for me to welcome you at this occasion of our annual 8th International Conference on Paradigm Shift in Global Business Practices and Socio-Economic Development. We have come a long way in this journey of international conferences being hosted by VIPSAR, and at this moment I feel great joy and expeditions standing before you to begin with our 8th International Conference. It's my privilege to have with us Dr. Sunil Somani sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Medicaps University, Indore, for agreeing to preside over this function as a chief guest. I welcome you, sir. I am highly honored with the presence of Dr. Ibrahim Shuaib from Nigeria as our keynote speaker and guest of honor of this ceremony for agreeing to share his excellent intellectual experiences with our delegates. I express gratitude to Major General Dr. Rajesh Chaba, is Additional Director General of Operational Logistics, Army Headquarters, New Delhi, for giving time from his busy schedule to grace this important conference. After 7 more successful versions of Vishisht International Conference, we now venture towards the 8th edition of this academic powerful event. From an inside concept, it has developed to a memorable conference. Personally, I am extremely proud of this tradition where we host scholars from diverse backgrounds to discuss about socio-economic challenges and appealing executions. VIPSAR, as Vishisht School of Management, is broadly known for its scholarly thoroughness and workforce understudy cooperations. We intend to give brilliant research-based and esteemed moral instruction to meet out our twin destination of overcoming any issue of consistently delivering business division and Indian training framework alongside societal requirement of advancing quality-based development. I, at this 8th International Conference, aspiring to inquire and gain from the encounters and experiences of educationists, researchers, and business pioneers to exchange and offer knowledge contemplations. And it is honor for the whole Vishisht family to extend our warm welcome to all the delegates from Gujarat, Maharashtra, Delhi, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Kerala, Karnataka, West Bengal, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, Telangana, and different part of the Madhya Pradesh, as well as experts through the Skype presentations from United Arab Emirates, Nigeria, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope we are going to have a cheerful and gratifying time organized all the day. I greet the recipient of prestigious Vishisht Shiksha Samman to Dr. Kirti Agarwal and Vishisht Seva Samman 2019 to Dr. Mathew, which will be conferred here in this function. It is an enormous feeling and gesture to be a host of this international conference at Vishisht School of Management, Indore. We were the onlooker of the past 7 conferences, so by the grace of Almighty God, they all were the benchmark and some achievement are motivation itself. So those made us to rethink forward. Divine Spirit has always blessed us and wishes it may keep showering so we may create a benchmark of success. I am very touched with the presence of the participant and gratitude towards decorated and dedicated and motivated team of Vishisht has always been there to make it is a grand success. And I wish that this conference will be another step towards success. We are sure that this conference would leave long-lasting memories and a strong legacy to emulate. I wish you all a most merciful day. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
To present introductory speech. So please.
With the permission of the dais, a very warm welcome to all of you, and especially people who have come from Indore and outside from Indore. So a very warm welcome to all of you to the 8th International Conference on Paradigm Shift and Global Business Practices. It is always a pleasure hosting you. This is an annual event and every year we do it. So, it is always a pleasure hosting you. And conference is a place जहाँ पे knowledge sharing होती है, जहाँ पे mentorship होती है, जहाँ पे peer reviews होते हैं. So the introduction to this is basically that, मैं अभी आते टाइम न्यूज़ सुन रहा था and there was a news article जिसमें Trump and the Chinese government have agreed for a trade pact. So in a span of 2 years, there has been trade war, there has been trade pact, and हम पहले globalization की बात कर रहे थे, then we had to raise tariffs, and businesses को survive करना, ऐसे में businesses को adapt करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. तो the topic of this conference is specifically related because आज dynamism है businesses में, the environment changes overnight. The government changes overnight, policies change overnight, so businesses need to be ready. And as the academic community, the onus is on us that how can we assist, because at the end of the day, education, academics, all of us and industry are interrelated. So we help them, they help us, and it is a give and take. So it is the onus is on us to derive strategies, कुछ ऐसे तरीके सुझाएं उनको कि this is what you can do, and basically have some prediction models. So I hope we have a very rich list of speakers today, and I hope this conference is a knowledge sharing experience, knowledge gaining experience for all of you. I hope this is a win-win situation. Thank you so much.
Currently, under International Exchange Program, he is working as Associate Professor at Chaba University, NCR, Delhi. He has attended many conferences in the countries like UK, Singapore, Canada, Russia, South Korea, USA, and India. He has contributed in the publication of many research papers in national and international journals with respect to business studies. I now request Dr. Ibrahim Shuaib to please come and address the gathering. So please.
A very good morning to all, one and all here, member of the DEX and fellow researchers, the faculty members of this great institute. Good morning to you all. It's my big pleasure to be in this great city of Indore to share with you with some of my experiences that I have in India, and also as an associate partner of Nigeria Embassy under trade and investment, and also what achievement we have done so far on this regard of economic development in India and also in Africa and also the world at large. Quite all right, this topic or this thing is quite interesting because the way the businesses of the day are going, rapidly growth, and more especially how businesses goes within India and also outside India. So we at the embassy, we try to figure out what is expected of us to develop our own continent. If you look at the revolution of it started from Europe, Asia, now the trend is moving towards the African market. So what are the things? Here in India, we are lucky to be here also because it has amazing things. The industries are there, the infrastructures are there, also the IT sector. So the IT sector in any of the world, if any nation wants to develop, then it has to be associated with India. That is why India has more sacrificed itself in terms of IT sector and technological advancement. So with this regard, many of our fellow Africans we are heading to the India in order to seek for assistance, as usually the Indians used to help a lot. In the 90s, our parents used to tell us that the Indians have come to our country to teach them the various subjects, mathematics, engineering, and so on. So, but the recall of India, many of us have learned from them. So we are here again to seek the Indian help to go back to our continent in order to help us develop our own nations, in order to be a really global village. As you all know that in all the countries which used to advance in future, it needs a research and development. What are these research and development? Then there's many online companies now, like Amazon, the Flipkart, the Snapdeal that we are having here in India. So it contributes a lot to the economy of the country. So due to that development, we are also seeking to that shift to expand its operation towards the African market. Because now the Africa is the future. If you can see of the most of the conferences, they will see that Africa is the future. Why? Because there's a lot of things to do there. We have natural resources, no doubt about that, but we need an infrastructure development, IT services, and so on. So we are seeking for this assistance from India so that we can develop our own continent. We can be in the same page of India, although the India is very far ahead of us, but as a senior, because India is a senior to us, because if you look at the history of independence, India gets independence. From India, we come to know, okay, we have to strive for our independence. So India is a very, very hospitality people, honey, very good country on the earth, which in all developed world, if you see, you will see an Indian, and they are very hardworking in that aspect in order to help the country to develop and also to achieve its dream in life. So having said that, that is what we call that idea creation. I'm now talking about now shifting to the students of the management students, which the field I come from. That is idea creation. In each of the student, you have an idea. So you have to express that idea to either your faculty members or to your one and guide who you know he has some aspiration than you. Because in that aspect, when you seek for something, you have an idea, you need to discuss with some people. By negotiating, they are saying two heads are better than one. By negotiating with people, you come to realize, yes, okay, you have to do this, this is how you follow, this is how you go. So you develop your idea. After develop, then you develop the ideas, then you have to consult many things, conferences, books, and also some companies or some institutional learning environment. You have to visit there in order to make it a reality. Everyone has his own purpose of life. So it's left for you to come out to say that, yes, I want to contribute my own quota to the development of the universe or to the development of mankind. So by so doing that, there is many things to do. You too, you are here for a purpose. You are not here just like that. You are here for a purpose. Try to leave a legacy that someday history will remember you. So by creating those legacies, so you have to have patience. It's not easy to become, but you have to strive a little bit. One day you will be there. So my thanks to all of you who are the participants, also the researchers who are here. We want to learn from you and also learn from us as well. So I am hoping that in future, we'll see most of us in Africa where there's no bilateral relations. Also there is a peace and harmony between all of us and mutual respect between all of us that we are having. So there's long life relationship between us, between the Asian, especially the India and also the Africa. I like to see that happens. Although the government of India is trying to go to the African market, the present government, they are trying to shift to the development of Africa. Also because you see the China has taken the market. So the China has taken the market, now we need the Indian product because we are realized that the Indian product, they are very genuine and they are very most of high quality and high standard. So due to that, we are seeking for the Indian market to shift its strength to the African market in order to improve the socio-economic development and the infrastructure of our nations, and also to contribute as it used to be before, more than what it is now, at least more developing parts. Also, usually the African, most of you have visited, while some they have not visited, but I hope to see you maybe doing your businesses in Africa, because we have we have the land, we have the resources. So if you shape your operation there, so it can be very easy for you to develop the country. So with this regard, I show my sincere appreciation to the organizers, Mr. Iqbal sir, and also Mrs. Kirti Agarwal also that I know. So I was very pleased and well welcome in your state. Thank you so much and God bless.
A valuable experience with us. Now, I would like to tell you all about Vishisht Shiksha Samman and Vishisht Seva Samman. Vishisht Shiksha Samman and Vishisht Seva Samman recognizes academicians, researchers and philanthropists who are aggressively and innovatively leveraging challenges to make education and society more proactive, productive and essential. This fosters innovative idea and thought process and enables the individual to thrive and respond quickly to changing trends in the education and society in the future. To judge this, our distinguished panel comprises of various eminent academicians, researchers and renowned personalities from every section of the society. This year, the panel has recommended one name for Vishisht Shiksha Samman 2019 under the contribution in the field of higher education, and Vishisht Seva Samman 2019 in the memory of Srimati Bhagwati Devi and Pandit Mansaram Gautam Shahji for the contribution in the social services. Firstly, I'll announce and read esteemed profile of recipients. After that, I'll request recipients to come on stage. This year, the recipient of Vishisht Shiksha Samman is Dr. Kirti Agarwal. She is currently Professor and Director at ITERC College of Management, Delhi, NCR since 2013. She is postgraduate and PhD in Commerce from Jivaji University, Kuala. She has pursued PGDFM, Executive MBA and LLB. She started her career as lecturer at Jain College, Kuala in 1998. She started rendering her services at BLS Institute of Management, Ghaziabad and ICFAI Institute of National Institute, Noida. She served as HOD in Institute of Advanced Management and Research, Ghaziabad and at Greater Noida Institute of Management as Director. She is an excellent academician with overall experience of more than 21 years. Dr. Kirti has published more than 50 research papers in journals of national and international repute. She has chaired lectures and sessions at international conferences in Bangkok and Kathmandu. Recently, she has visited Michigan University, USA to represent her college and presented a paper there. She has also been guide and supervisor of more than 22 research scholars across the national boundaries. Dr. Kirti has received Young Entrepreneur Research Award in 2018 and Award for Social Services in Education in 2019. She has also penned down 13 books of different commerce and management subjects for distance learning program of Nalanda University, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University and MD University, Rohtak. Besides this, she is running SVDES Educational NGO and CAF Private Limited, associating with many public and private educational institutions and corporate houses, New Delhi. Dr. Kirti is editorial board member in 12 national and international journals and editor-in-chief CAF publication. Now, moving ahead to Vishisht Seva Samman. This year, the recipient of Vishisht Seva Samman is Dr. Mathew. She is founder and director of Kirti Special School and Rehabilitation Center, Kerala. She started her social services in 2002 with weekly classes among children in the margin of the society. Then she started a new project and established Kirti Center for Children with Cerebral Palsy in 2009. She also extends her services with establishment of special school and rehabilitation center, physiotherapy clinic for adults, tailoring institute for mothers, vocational training centers for children and special needs, Ignite Counseling Center and Deepti Early Intervention Center. She is a graduate and postgraduate in physics from University of Kerala. Then she completed a Bachelor of Divinity and Master of Theology from School of Srirampur College, West Bengal. She also earned PhD degree in Theology and Religion from Durham University, the United Kingdom. Dr. Mathew is also executive member Parivar. It is the largest NGO in the world. She received so many awards and grants like British Council Shine International Award 2010, Northeast Division, Durham Postgraduate Internship Award, Houston College Travel Award, Scholarship from Narang Partnership in UK and Ireland for PhD. Dr. Mathew is also working on counseling and guidance program to cater the counseling, skill development training, creative play for children, career guidance, fellowship for social transformation, special needs children and their families. Now, I would like to call the name.
Sir, please close. Sir, please. This side. Yes, sir, look at please. Sir, look at please. Thank you.
सर आप भी जाए ना.
Yes, ready? Look at please. Smile. Thank you.
Thank you all. I now request Dr. Mathew to please come and receive Vishisht Seva Samman 2019 for outstanding contribution in the social welfare.
I also request Conduct Gautam kindly join for this ceremony.
I am, ma'am, please stand. Yes, close please. Sir, again. Yes, look at please. Sir, look at please. Thank you. Yes, ready, smile.
सर घूमना. यस.
Yes, sir, please close. Yes, look camera side.
सर थोड़ा सा बैक हो जाए.
Yes, ready, smile. Wait.
रुकिएगा अभी वीडियो चल रहा है.
Ready, smile. Thank you.
Which includes Sri Lanka Operation Pawan in 1987, Kargil Operation Vijay in 1999 and Operation Parakram in Rajasthan in 2001. He was awarded Parakram Padak for the injury that he received in his head during the operation in Sri Lanka in 1987. His major operation deployment have been to the counter-insurgency area in Sri Lanka in 1987 and in Jammu and Kashmir from 1998 to 2000 and 2008 to 2010. In the fields area in Rajasthan and in Assam from November 2012 till March 2015. He was the General Commanding Officer of an infantry division and as a brigadier, he was a brigadier commander of an independent armed brigade for 21 months in Rajasthan in Punjab sector. As a colonel, he was commanding officer of mechanized infantry battalion comprising of 800 soldiers, 50 light tanks and an equipment inventory of 200 crores for 13 months. Besides his outstanding military career, which there he served nation by protecting its sovereignty, unity and integrity, He also shown his talent in academic field. He is a PhD degree holder, an MBA and MPhil in management, and qualified NEC examinations in different subjects. I now request Major General Dr. Rajesh Chaba to please come and address the gathering. So please.
Good morning, Dr. Narang, Dr. Ibrahim, Dr. Somani, Dr. Iqbal. Participants in this conference. It's been my proud privilege to be part of this gathering today, and I thank the organizers who found it fit to invite me for this occasion. Much has been said about what I have been. These last 36 years of my army life has been a very enriching experience. Now, gentlemen, today's topic has been paradigm shift in global business practices and socio-economic development. Now, the point about paradigm shift was explained by the anchor, who talked about the paradigm shift and how it affects us. Certain amount of thoughts were also given by Dr. Iqbal as well as Dr. Ibrahim. Now, gentlemen, few things we need to understand. Today's world is a world in which small incidents can change the destiny of nations. There's a very apt word that has been spoken by a general of US Army. He talks about an international corporal. You know, a corporal is a very, comparatively very low ranked soldier. But he said that an action by a corporal in any country can lead to wars because of globalization, because the advent of IT, because of the advent of mobiles. A thing which is happening today in a remote village, let's say in the sand, which has been captured from mobile, will go viral within 24 hours, and it will have international repercussions. So today, global business practices have to change with time. And we must understand, today the era of globalization and multilateralism is possibly withdrawing due to global pressures. Whether we talk about US-China trade wars, whether we talk about Brexit, whether we talk about India's withdrawal and non-signing of the Regional Cooperation of Economic Partnership, RCEP. These are the changes of changing time. We are again going back to protectionism. And as Dr. Iqbal talked about, he said that today businesses have to be very clear about how effects inner part of the world is going to affect. I'll take one specific example. US decided to withdraw from the partnership or from the agreement with Iran on controlling the nuclear weapons. This happened about a year back. From that year to now, entire Persian Gulf is comparatively in great amount of strain. How does this affect India? We must understand a $10 increase in oil prices reduces our GDP from 0.4 to 0.6%. It's a huge amount. The oil tankers of Iran were hit in the Red Sea. The Houthi rebels in Yemen hit the major oil refineries in Saudi Arabia. It reduced Saudi export to a very huge extent. The oil prices in the world increased by roughly about $8 to $10 overnight. Another attack cannot be ruled out. The tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia will keep on increasing. Proxy wars are being fought all over the world. Everything affects India. everything affects the country. That is why, as educationists, as research scholars, as economists, as business leaders, we need to be very aware of what is happening all over the world. The global practices are changing. Innovation is the order of the day. Transparency has to be more because everything is there in open market. Socio-economic development in all parts of the world will get affected by the changing global economic practices. These are the challenges that we need to understand, we need to face. And this being the theme of today's talk, I think it's a wonderful theme. And if we all think about how anything happening in any part of the world is going to affect our country, I think it will greatly benefit all of us. I wish all the best to all the participants, and I wish all the best to Vishisht School of Management for organizing such a wonderful presentation, what a wonderful conference. Today is the 8th edition. I hope that sooner I'll see the 18th edition after 10 years. Thank you. Have a nice day.
With great delight, now I would like to introduce our Chief Guest, Dr. Sunil Somani, Vice Chancellor at Madhyaprabha University, Indore. He was awarded PhD in Mechanical Engineering from Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. He attained his Masters in Design Engineering from College of Engineering, Pune, an MBA in Finance and MBA in Operations Management from Ibrahim. He has also cleared his ICWA Inter and various diplomas like PGD in Sustainability Management, Industrial Management, Operations Management, and Financial Management. Besides, he has a wide experience in industry as well as academics. He was a chairman board of studies Mechanical Engineering in DAVD. As a research guide, he has guided more than 60 undergraduate and 17 postgraduate project seminars till date. Many research scholars have been awarded PhD under his guidance. He has more than 65 publications in various international and national journals, conferences, etc. One of which, Computer Simulation as Teaching Aid, a case of mechanics study, was awarded as Best Paper in Professional category at Technologia Raipur. He has authored 2 books, first, Machine Design, and second, Basic Mechanical Engineering. Dr. Somani is also an international chess player and coach. He has represented India in Correspondence Chess Olympiad. Besides participating at national, state and inter-university level, he was member of Selection Committee Chess at Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya. He was MP State Junior Chess Champion and was board A player of the inter-university runner-up team of Dr. H.S. Gaur University, Sagar. He was also Indian champion of All India Correspondence Chess Association. He is also the life member of various professional bodies like IE India, AMM, ISTE, MPCA, AICCF, CCAI, etc. I now request our chief guest to please come and address the gathering.
Good morning. Very morning. Dr. Narang, Dr. Ibrahim, Dr. Chaba, Dr.Anas, my dear friend, Dr. Gautam, the recipient of the Vishisht Awards, Dr. Kirti, Dr. Mathew, all the participants and the members of Vishisht Institute who are here for consecutively 8th time for organizing such wonderful conference. I was part of some of previous conferences as well, and therefore I am delighted that apart from the consistency, every time some upliftment is always there. The conference, as I have seen from this booklet, that around 130 papers are there in the global business practices, as well as 92 papers in socio-economic development. There are basically two different things. One is global business and one is social economy. I recall the Gita, which is our one of the great Granth, where they have differentiated the whole humankind into 4 different categories. One is Kshatri, another is Vaishya, Brahman and Shudra. They were not having any kind of other race or something like that, and it started with Kshatri or Brahman, where the Kshatri was to take care of the whole human being. They have to save themselves. Colonel Sahab or General Sahab nahi bete hain. That is the kind of work which was given to that kind of category. Second is Brahmanas. They were there for educating the people. The Vaishyas always for the business, global business and all other things. And Shudras to serve the 3 communities as well. And when we see today's environment, apart from the Kshatri, every Kshatri is having the business. चाहे राफेल कांड ले लो या बोफोर्स ले लो या कुछ भी, everywhere there is business behind the Kshatriyas. Education, you know that now the education is a business. It's not merely imparting for the sake of giving the knowledge to the people. It's more of the business rather than this. Vaishya to apna kaam business ही है, so they are doing it. Narang साहब कर रहे हो या हम कर रहे हो, everybody is doing like that. And even the Shudras, they don't serve the people. Now it's the business. Service, any kind of service is a business, and therefore I believe that the topic encompasses everyone. The globalization is pointed out by the earlier speakers, whether it is Trump and China or US-China, Brexit, our own economy. You know that our powerful Prime Minister is visiting regularly to globally, and the reason is very simple. It's the business. It's not the earning name and fame from all over the world. There must be certain business which must come to the India. That is the reason why our whole government and the other people are behind it. And therefore, I believe that the researchers who are doing the work behind different topics, I have gone through certain topics as well, which are really, they have done remarkable work. So, we have to come forward in all the aspects, whether we are educationist, industrialist or something, any other kind of, even for the social welfare, you need certain business, sustainable business, and then only the things will move. I am happy that this time the Vishisht award is given to two great ladies who came to Indore, the cleanest city of India. I believe that it's apart from the cleanest city, those who are from Indore, they must know, और बाकी जितने हैं उनको भी जानना चाहिए कि इंदौर बहुत अच्छा फूड हब है. We are fond of the I believe Sarafa is known to most of the people apart from Ibrahim. You take Ibrahim to Sarafa. And चिकन के लिए तो गौतम साहब लेके जाएंगे, बट ओके. The hospitality given by the Malwa region is also good, and therefore I welcome on my own behalf and on behalf of the complete city for all the participants who have come long way to Indore. I am congratulating all the participants for their paper selection in the conference, and I am also thankful to Dr.Anas, Dr. Narang, the whole Vishisht family for inviting me in this conference. All the best. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Their valuable time and experience with us. Thank you, sir. The token of remembrance.
Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today my words are not enough to express the gratitude who all have gathered here for 8th International Conference on Paradigm Shift in Global Business Practices and Socio-Economic Development, being organized by Vishisht School of Management, Indore. Being conference coordinator, it's my privilege and honor to propose vote of thanks. I extend heartfelt thanks to all the participants for their active participation in the event and ensuring that this conference is benefited to all. An event of this dimension cannot overcome in an overnight way. The wheel starts rolling month in advance. I have been fortunate enough to have been backed with a team of very motivated and dedicated faculties and student volunteers. So I thank them all for their great efforts and making it successful at this event. At last, I express our thank to all the supporting partners of this conference, namely Super Elements Private Limited, Global Research Foundation, Sabagama University of Sri Lanka, Kavya Publication, and Acumen Creation. I am thankful to electronic and print media for gracing this opportunity. Thank you so much.
So much, sir, and thanks a lot everyone for joining us to this 8th International Conference on Paradigm Shift in Global Business Practices and Socio-Economic Development. Now, I would like to announce that to all the delegates that we shall start our technical session from 12:30 onwards. All the participants of Track 1, that is Global Business Practices, the presentations will be held at NB 101, and for the Track 2, that is Socio-Economic Development, it will be conducted at room number SB 103. Now, everybody is invited for Swagat Kalpi. Thank you once again. Thank you all.